Hey guys, it's Amy from Two Oaks Farmstead, and I'm about to start another process today of processing. And this is, see right here, I'm probably going to get banned from having that pictured in one of my videos, but this is what we've been doing. We got our new walk-in built. Well, we finished it off, let's say, a couple weeks ago, and on a few days ago, we slaughtered 3 pigs, okay? And they've been hanging out there ever since. It's been a few days. So they've been out there hanging, and I will have, just so you know, I'm going to stop for a second and tell you, I will have on twooaksfarmtalk.com, I will have the posts up very shortly about the walk-in, all the details about it, about getting the walk-in cooler set up with the CoolBot and all that. And then also about, after that, I'll have the post up about doing the pigs, about slaughtering them. I had a lot of people ask about, what the process is that we do. I do all of our processing. Typically we have a division of labor. My husband will normally goes out and does the initial killing and the gutting, that kind of thing. And then I do all the cuts, all the processing, the butchering, that kind of thing. So, I mean, it works out. It works out for both of us. Now, I will show you. We have 3 pigs to do. This is half a pig. Now, in the post up on Two Oaks Farm Talk that will be up soon, you will see the process that we go through to get it to this point. And then I'm going to be showing you the process that I do when I take it from here. Now, the first thing I'm doing, you'll see these 2 crock pots out here. The first thing I'm doing is I'm pulling the leaf lard, okay? That's very important. I'm a baker. I'm really looking forward to gathering all of the really good fat and rendering it into really terrific lard for my pastries. And so I'm taking a specific portion. Let's see if I can show you here. I've already started the process, but this right here, that's where I'm taking that for just that alone, specifically for my pastries, the main ones. But I'm also going to take the back fat, which is right back there. Okay, I'll take it and I'll render it separately. It's really good fat, makes really good lard, but I want to keep it separately from my leaf lard. If you want to look that up, go ahead. When I first heard of that, I was like, "What? I don't even understand what that means." But it's the lard that is typically, it's in the cavity around the kidneys. And look it up. You'll find lots of really great information on it. And so the next time you guys have a hog to process, remember that you don't want to waste that. Real quick video break. On my first half of the first pig, I have got it cut here into 3 sections of this one side. Before you start butchering, you kind of want to know what it is that you want to get. Different cuts come from the same section of pig. You can't just get pork chops from everything, so different cuts from different sections, but there's also different cuts that come from the same section. So you got to kind of decide what you want, out of those sections. I definitely want the bacon, and I'm getting that, but I'm also taking some pork chop sections. I'm going to take a pork roast. I'm going to take the pork butt, obviously, which is not the butt, just so you know. We love pulled pork. We're going to be roasting those up. And then, of course, I'm taking some hams. A lot of this, I'm going to be saving some of this fat and making my own homemade sausage out of breakfast sausage, which we love, and go from there. I've got 3 pigs, so 6 sides, so I can get a lot of different kinds of cuts by going through all of them, and should make a bunch of pork sausage as well with 3 pigs, but I will continue showing you. Okay, so I am now on the second half of the first pig, but in my defense, I've had a lot going on here on the farm in between. And they're fine hanging in the cooler for right now. They're perfectly fine. But I wanted to show you a couple things. Okay. Now, you see over here, kind of laid out, I've got my sink filled up currently with bacon. I am ready. I'm getting all the bacon pulled off the belly and getting it ready to cure. I will show you guys that process as well and give you my favorite products for that. But I have got the bacon over there, some of it ready for curing. And what I have behind me now, that first pile right there, that's just the skin that I've been cutting off. That's trash. That's just crap. It's gonna go. Now I also have right beside that, right behind me, I have a pile of discards, just some fat and some gristle and just some crap that I will roast up a little bit, and I'll feed them to the hogs that we have out there. They're not cannibals, but they are, what do they call it? I forget what they call it, but they'll eat anything, okay? They will eat anything. They don't care. So, right here. Now, I've got some ribs sections. I haven't finished that out yet. And I've got the hams. I've actually got a couple hams back there. And some pork butt, which is the shoulder. And I can't get over that one. But I've got all these various sections here that I've been cutting up. We've got the bandsaw going just kind of right outside my kitchen door. And I can take it and cut it up into sections and then kind of work those sections from there. These suckers are heavy. I mean, like crazy heavy. Half a pig, no guts, no blood, no nothing. My son and I have to carry together to get it up here from the cooler. And then we have to hold it together to try and run it through the bandsaw. They are stinking heavy. They're big old suckers. So it's working out pretty well. This is the first time I've cut them up in the way that I currently am. But I'm liking it. I'm liking using the bandsaw to cut it into sections. And then I'm liking being able to get the various cuts. Normally, when Chris would go or the boys would go and shoot a wild hog, they would harvest it in the late at night or something, or bring it home late at night anyway. Gut it and bring it in an ice chest, and I would just start cutting, just basically to get basic cuts. I'd always take the loins and the tenderloins, and then we'd make up ground pork and breakfast sausage and that kind of thing. But right now, because these pigs were pretty good size, I'm able to get bacon, and I'm able to get some pork chops and crown roasts and that kind of thing. I'm excited about that. Not the best cook in the world. I'm a baker, okay? If you want baked goods, I'm who you want to talk to. I can keep my family alive by cooking, but I'm not the best cook in the world. However, I'm excited about getting going with some of these other additional cuts of meat. I will show you more of this, the process close up as I go a little bit further in. I am just going to pop in real fast and show you a little thing. So if you've been following, you know that I am currently butchering up a bunch of pigs. And right now I've gotten the bacon off of one of them, and I've got 20 pounds of bacon. And I'm about to stick it in the container, the curing container, whatever, brining container, to start curing and brining. I wanted to show you what I use. I get this from LEM, or that's the company. It's Backwoods Bacon Cure, and I like the maple flavor personally. And just a side tip, let's call this a pro tip, because this is my thing right here. When you have maple, if you have maple bacon, you can grind that in a meat grinder with your venison and make awesome, I mean freaking awesome maple venison burgers. They are, I mean, seriously, you cannot beat that. Okay, so, but I wanted to show you this. This stuff here, you can do it wet or dry. I always buy them in multiples. I've got this one right here as an extra because I'm doing it next. I've got the first one already mixing up in my container as a wet. I'm doing the wet cure first. So it will cure 20 pounds of bacon with the wet one, and then the dry way it'll do 25 pounds. I've got 20 pounds off of this pig, and I'm going to do it wet. And all I have to do is get it all coated in this stuff, stick it in here, and in this bucket. I want to show you this bucket. Okay. Okay, this is my brining bucket. I also get it. It's an LEM product. Now, find it. Okay. This little contraption right here is super cool. You see those ridges there? This thing goes down on the, like through there, and then you turn it, and those little ridges on the side hold it down, keep it from coming up, which is great because it keeps your meat from floating up above your juice. I've brined turkeys this way. I have brined hams this way. So it's a really, honestly, it's a terrific product, and I definitely think you should consider it if this is something that you're doing. So right now I'm going to go ahead. I have got 10 pounds in that bowl, and then I've got another 10 pounds over here. So I'm about to get them all wrapped up inside this thing and get it brining. I have to stick it in there. I'm going to put it back down in the cooler for about 7 days. Yes. And I'm a little bit mixed up right now with all this stuff I've got to get going. But what I'll do is I will get it curing. And then after you do that, you rinse it off really well, and then dry it like in a place that is cool and will have air circulation. You dry it for about 30 minutes on each side, which we can hang ours in our cooler, and so it won't take as long. And then we will get them hanging in the smoker, and we will get them smoked and ready to go. And my mouth is already watering. Like I'm practically drooling as we speak, waiting for this maple bacon. So this is a great way to go. I will put this up with links to the products on Two Oaks Farm Talk on my blog. Actually, I may even put it on lifeonthefarm.com. That way you can get it in both sides. I know I've got different followers on both. So you guys have a great evening, and I'm going to continue my pork processing. Okay, so I'm still butchering pigs. I'm afraid I'm going to be doing this for a while. This one here it's a pretty massive pig. This was the boy. And my son and I'm just handling a half at a time, okay? And my son and I normally, well, the other day on the last one, we picked the whole thing up, the whole half, and we went out to the bandsaw, and he helped me push it through and cut it up into manageable sections. Then I could cut it down into smaller sections like the cuts and stuff. But this one, honestly, it's just really heavy. So I sliced the meat where I wanted the cuts to be, and he decided he'd come in here with the handsaw and the bone saw and go ahead and cut it down. So we've got at least sectioned out into 3 pieces. But I wanted to show you something. I just got through taking part of the bacon, and I'm going to be getting that going. But I wanted to show you something. So here's the rib cage. And then this little thing right here, a lot of people miss this on a lot of stuff. This is just it's a tenderloin, okay? It's up underneath the rib cage on the back side of where the loin is. You know, like you're on a deer, it's called a back strap. But they have these tenderloins, and a lot of people miss them because they're kind of just hiding underneath the spine, inside the rib cage, behind all the stuff. So you got to rip all that stuff out of the way. And like when I got the leaf lard out here, leaf fat, I uncovered it, obviously, so I'm able to pull it loose. And I'm just pulling on it, and it's just coming right up. So I'll probably use my knife to get in there and cut like a couple of things like that, and cut some of that fat away. And actually, there we go. little tenderloin. A lot of people call the back straps, basically, they call them tenderloins, but they're not, they're loins. I just wanted to show you where that was. I'm going to continue on this part, trying to finish pulling away the rest of the bacon and then getting the ribs pulled away from the rest of the spine. And I haven't decided yet. I may make a crown roast out of this one or just pork chops. I'm not sure yet. I'm trying to decide. Choices. Hey everybody, I'm back at it again, and I've still got more pigs to do. So I wanted to show you something though. I've got a bunch of sections of this next half, kind of proportioned out, like the back end section. I've got the front end section, and I've got the center section. I've been currently working on chopping up that center section, getting it where it needs to be. But I wanted to show you a little detail on the ribs. Many of you probably already know this, but I know that some don't, so I'm going to go ahead and show it. So I'll put this down and let you see. When you're doing your ribs, there is a film, a backing thing on the back of it, and you want to make sure that you get it off. And if you kind of start at the side, kind of like a sticker, if you can get it to lift, then a lot of times you can just peel it off of there. It is not an easy thing to do, and I prefer to do it before cutting up the ribs. Like if you're going to cut them up into smaller sections, I just think it's a lot easier to try and peel this off in a larger section. I've still got to go in. There's a couple of little tiny pieces there on the back side of this little meat flap that's still hanging on. I can tell you this, I'm going to have some serious guns built back up by the time I'm done with this butchering. But that is how you peel off that stuff on the back side of those ribs. It is important. Just about got it. Okay, I'll take a knife and cut the rest of those little bits out. And I'm also going to show you. Yuck. Okay. So this is that section. I've got the skin cut off the outside, and you see there. So the ribs are here. This is the lower half of the ribs. I already cut the top off. So the ribs are up here on the front, and I could take this entire layer back over here, pork sides, pork belly, whatever. I can take that whole thing off of there. I can make it bacon or anything like that. I may on this one, but I wanted to show you what I could do also is, because you can just take that section off. If you can see this, you can take that section off here, and then you've got you still got nice meat area on your ribs, and then I can make that entire outer section into bacon. But something else you can do is, so good place to show you. You can see where the rib, like where the cut edge is there. You can cut right down through there, and now I'd take a little bit extra of this fat layer off, but you can cut right down through there, and it makes like a little, I don't know, a rib hammer. It's like one rib with a lot of meat on it, and you can kind of cook it up like a steak, on the grill or anything. So that's something else that you can do. I think I'm gonna take some bacon and make an extra little thing of ribs. Okay, so here I am on my very last pig half, or half pig. Okay, it's the very last one. So 3 pigs, that we raised and butchered here. We had just gotten through doing a wild boar that my husband got, but that's beside the point. So now I am on the last half of the last pig to be butchered, and I just thought I'd show you a couple things real fast. When I do my setup for butchering, I'm pretty particular about the way I get things kind of laid out for myself. I think I've mentioned this before. I put a towel down on my giant butchering area here, and I cover it all in freezer paper with the shiny side up, And then, so that part is always underneath. And then I always have my stuff set out. Okay, so I've got like it's like a meat lug with the liner inserts in it, and that makes it a lot easier for me on cleanup especially. I always have several bowls, and actually I'm kind of down several bowls because some of them are still filled up with pig parts down in the cooler waiting for me to finish with this one. But like for instance back here, I've already taken out the leaf fat, and that is it, and I've got to take it back down there and get it with the rest of them so that I can render them all at the same time. Got another bowl over here for various parts that I'll be pulling off, and then in my meat lug I will be putting the larger pieces. But I've got everything down here. This last half I've got it sectioned out into the main three pieces, like the front half, the shank and whatever, the middle half it has all the ribs and it has the bacon and all that, and then of course the ham. And there's various pieces that I can pull off of each of those sections, and that's what I'm about to be doing. Once I finish with this last half, then I can start finishing up the rest of the processing. Now, a lot of it I have already gotten, the various cuts, I've gotten them wrapped up and marked and in the freezer, waiting to be cooked, pork chops and whatnot. But like the meat that I've been putting aside to do sausage or to do ground pork and that kind of thing, I've just been bagging it up and sticking it down there because I figure I'll just do it all at one time. That'll make it a heck of a lot easier. Less pulling out of equipment and cleanup and all that. So I will show you guys those processes. We've done a little bit of that before, mostly on venison, I believe. I do also have a young cow to handle, so I've got to do that too, but I guess I'll be processing for a while. Anyway, I'm going to get going on this, and when I have something else to show you, I will pop back in. Well, I showed you guys the gist of what I do when I'm processing the pigs. I am now moved on to venison and I've got I'm trimming some up down here, got some going into the grinder, and which I've done a review video on before. Y'all should check that out because this thing is awesome. And then I've also got a bowl full of stew meat that I will be processing into venison stew sometime very soon. But right now I've got my apprentice butcher, my youngest son. I've got him out there manning the smoker, and we've got our last set of bacon and several hams that we'll be smoking today. And actually, there's the hams right there, and they're ready to go as soon as the smoker gets to the right temp. The bacon is a little bit lower temp than the hams are, so we'll be getting all those going today. It'll be a long day, and I will be showing you guys some of that on there as well, how to do both. So anyway, you guys be sure and subscribe. There's so much more content coming out very soon. In fact, be watching for our walk-in cooler video. We just recently built the walk-in cooler, and I'm trying to get that up. Okay, you guys have a great week, and I guess wherever you are. Bye bye.